Hey everyone, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in to Relevant Jukebox, and I'm your host Chris, and today we're going to be talking about the newest release from singer-songwriter Alex G, House of Sugar. So Alex G is a singer-songwriter, producer, and multi-instrumentalist, and somewhat of a hero in the indie rock underground as of late. He began making records in his dorm room while he was attending Temple University using a $50 microphone and a MacBook Air, and in the process crafted some of the most seminal lo-fi singer-songwriter records of the 2010s in my opinion, with records like Race, Trick, Rules, Winner, and of course his 2014 breakout release DSU. There's like something inherently special about listening to Alex G's records that sometimes I can't even put my finger on. And the closest that I think I can boil it down to is his compositions and the melodies that he writes. They're all usually pretty winding and rickety, but they're inherently unique. And they give you this feeling like you're reliving your favorite memories as a kid or something. Now, I really don't think that Alex G has messed up or misstepped at any point in his career on record so far, but I do kind of have mixed feelings on House of Sugar. As usual though, with all of his records, he seems to pull out career-defining highlights. And on this album, the first one I can think of for sure is Gretel. I think that the hook on that track is the most memorable that he's come out with to date. I'm also loving all the pitch-shifted vocals, and he's also found like a newfound clarity in the recording and mixing on here, and it's coming off more psychedelic and more ghostly, and I think it's working a lot in his favor. I'm also loving the second track on this album, Hope. The vocal melody on there is like confusingly good and like winding and turning, and as I was saying before, how a lot of the melodies on his records give me this feeling like you're reliving your favorite memories as a kid. On the folky twee ballad Southern Sky, he's actually able to work in the melody of the Ring Around the Rosie theme song somehow. It actually fits extremely well, and it is like so inherently Alex G. Now, I think House of Sugar shares some similar qualities to his last record that he came out with, Rocket. He dives a little bit more into experimentation, and he takes some detours on these like sonic vignettes and paths. On here though, he's not like as off the deep end as he was on Rocket. It's all a little bit more cohesive, and sometimes I think this works in his favor, and in other times, not so much. I'm really digging the spiraling weird track Near. The vocal passages at the end of the track are like super deranged. It's like you're seeing a bunch of monsters melting in front of you, which, who knows, might represent what he's talking about in the lyrics, how he's like wanting someone to be near him and they're not, and it's that internal feeling you get. But, you know, tracks like the opening cut Walk Away have an interesting start to them, but unfortunately this track doesn't really go anywhere. It just kind of meanders on and on for over 4 minutes. And I feel similarly about the track Project 2. It does have this like icy tone to it, which is kind of cool, but the track again meanders and doesn't really have any sort of direction to it. And sifting through the end of this LP, tracks like Cow and Crime are pretty decent ballads, but for some reason they don't really leave that much of an impact on me. And I'm kind of curious about his decision to leave the closing track Sugar House as a live cut. It's a really cool track, but I think I would have preferred like a studio recorded version of this. I mean, overall, I really don't think this is the best Alex G album, but it still is a really solid album that fits into his back catalog and his ethos. Now, this being my first review here on YouTube, I kind of want to explain my review process and my rating system a little bit. Now, I will be rating records here on like a 1 to 10 scale. And of course, all of this is subjective. This is my rating, and I expect you to have a different rating of this album. But I kind of base my ratings off of my enjoyment of it, but more so the urgency that I think that you should check out the record. 10 being like urgent, you need to get your ears on this right now. And 1 being more like, don't even waste your time, this is utter shit. So with all that being said, I'm gonna give House of Sugar a 7.5. Also, I'm a pretty passionate collector of physical media, and throughout my reviews, I wanna let you guys know where you can get physical copies of these records if you're interested. Now, House of Sugar had a limited vinyl run through Domino Records that was on a purple marble vinyl that was beautiful. It came with a bonus 7-inch that had 3 additional tracks on it. At this point of me recording this video, it is sold out, but there is a standard black issue you can still pick up off their website or Alex G's Bandcamp, and I'm sure you can find this in retail locations. There's also a CD pressing of it, but surprisingly no cassette, which is weird. Alex G always puts out cassettes, and I haven't seen one yet for House of Sugar. Leave comments down below if you guys see one. But yeah, thanks for tuning in and watching the review. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button and drop a like on this video. Make sure you hit the bell to be notified when I put out my next review, because I plan on doing that pretty regularly on here. And yeah, Alex G, House of Sugar. Peace.